after flying into LA. Do you remember that testimony?
Upon touchdown is when I was alerted to the video's existence.
You heard Mr. Tremaine testify that about this video as well yesterday, didn't you?
Yes, I did.
And you heard Mr. Tremaine testify that TMZ received the cabinet video the same day you landed at LAX, yes?
I don't know if that's what his testimony was. I'm sorry.
You heard?
But I now, as I stand here today, can't have a career. I can't even have people associate with me because of the threats and the attacks that they have to endure.
You told this jury under oath that you punched Mr. Depp because you thought of Mr. Depp pushing Kate Moss down the stairs. You didn't expect Miss Moss to agree to testify that never happened, did you?
Incorrect. I know how many people will come out of the woodwork to be in support of Johnny.
So you think Miss Moss needs to come out of the woodwork to testify for Mr. Depp?
Hola Dermalover, ¿cómo estás? Para el video del día de hoy te traigo esta actualización de lo que sucedió el día de hoy en el juicio de Johnny Depp. Pues resulta que el día de hoy, a 2 días de finalizarlo, porque mañana van a hacer los argumentos finales y el día martes van a dar el veredicto por fin, pues el día de hoy, para cerrar con broche de oro, se subió nuevamente al estrado Amber Heard. Al principio sus abogados le estuvieron preguntando acerca de cómo se sentía, de cómo había sido el juicio para ella y cuáles son como sus pensamientos finales, por decirlo así, y después de esto hubo un contrainterrogatorio. Este fue llevado a cabo nuevamente por CAMILLE VASQUEZ, quien fue la persona que la contrainterrogó la vez pasada, y la verdad es que nuevamente barrió, trapeó con ella el piso, porque de verdad que le puso las cosas, las evidencias en la cara, y la verdad es que como buena manipuladora que presuntamente es Amber Heard, pues al final de cuentas negó absolutamente todo. Hacia el final hubo otro interrogatorio por parte de su abogado y con eso se cerró el día. Aquí les voy a contar en un resumen tal cual lo que estuvo sucediendo y les voy a estar poniendo los clips subtitulados. Estos clips son de otros canales, sobre todo el canal ER Misterios, y bueno, por ahí hay otros, ahí les voy a dejar la marca de agua para que sepan de qué canal los estoy sacando, y se me hacen falta algunos, en los próximos días se los voy a estar subiendo ya con traducciones propias. Soy acosada, humillada, amenazada todos los días, incluso simplemente entrando a esta sala del tribunal sentada aquí enfrente del mundo. Tener las peores partes de mi vida, las cosas que he vivido solían humillarme, la gente quiere matarme. La gente quiere meter a mi bebé en el microondas, me dicen eso. Johnny me prometió que si alguna vez lo dejaba, me haría pensar en él todos los días de mi vida. Johnny ha tomado suficiente de mi voz, tengo derecho a contar mi historia, tengo derecho a mi voz y a mi nombre, ya me han quitado suficiente. Esto obviamente lo dijo casi entre lágrimas, pero otra vez no le salió ni una sola lágrima, pero sí estaba como fingiendo que le dolía mucho, que estaba muy triste, etc. Sin embargo, viene el contrainterrogatorio que se llevó a cabo por parte de la abogada CAMILLE VASQUEZ, y pues casi como bipolar o como doble personalidad, cambió totalmente su cara, sus rasgos faciales, porque al principio estaba casi llorando, como les digo, pero no le salió lágrimas, pero cuando Camila empezó a contrainterrogar, soberbia, contestando mal y así como, pues ya te dije que eso fue lo que sucedió, ¿no? Casi. Y la verdad es que aquí pues no hay forma de que el jurado y la gente empaticemos con ella, porque pues al final de cuentas la soberbia se le sale por los poros, y por el otro lado pues sí, también Camille la provoca muchísimo. Aquí les dejo el contrainterrogatorio.
From what I've survived, I'm not sitting in this courtroom snickering. I'm not sitting in this courtroom laughing, smiling, and making snide jokes. I'm not. This is horrible. This is painful. And this is humiliating for any human being to go through. And perhaps it's easy to forget that, but I'm a human being. And even though Johnny promised that I deserve this and promised he'd do this, I don't deserve this. I want to move on. The statements, the attacks on me, the campaign, that Johnny has elicited millions of people to do on his behalf when he himself
Objection, Your Honor,
couldn't
lack
do
of
it?
foundation.
Torture me every day.
Speculation.
I'll sustain the objection. Next question.
Amber, how have the Depp-Waldman statements impacted your ability to do charitable work?
You know, the only reason that people like Dr. Curry can sit up here on the stand and say I'm high functioning and I do things like have hobbies and have interests is
Objection,
because I'm not.
non-responsive.
Your Honor, Mr. Depp gave long-winded responses yesterday.
Overruled. Good.
It's because I found a solution to that pain. I woke up every morning with panic attacks and trauma until I realized I could do something with it. But I now, as I stand here today, can't have a career. I can't even have people associate with me because of the threats and the attacks that they have to endure.
Objection,
when they are.
non-responsive.
And I can't do my charity work.
Sustain the objection.
It's been agonizing, painful, and the most humiliating thing I've ever had to go through. I hope no one ever has to go through something like this. I just want Johnny to leave me alone. I just want him to leave me alone. I've said that for years now, and I thought he would after
Objection,
2020.
non-responsive.
All right, I'll sustain the objection. Next question.
El testimonio de Morgan Knight, quien es el dueño de Hicksville Trailer Place. Escuché a mucha gente decir muchas cosas para participar en el show de Johnny Depp. Eso es lo que contesta Amber Heard cuando le están preguntando acerca del incidente de que presuntamente Johnny Depp casi le rompe la muñeca a una chica que estaba coqueteando con ella. Y ella dice que en realidad el dueño se lo está inventando todo solamente para cubrir a Johnny Depp. Camille Vázquez le pregunta acerca del testimonio de Morgan Tremaine y el video de TMZ, y esto es porque el día de ayer él testificó donde pues básicamente palabras más, palabras menos, dijo que ella vendió el video donde Johnny Depp está tirando todo en la cocina y también que ella les habló a los medios para que la captaran saliendo del juzgado cuando fue a pedir el divorcio y la orden de restricción. Ante esto Amber Heard dice, en realidad no tenía ni idea si iban a estar ahí o no. Camille dice, el video que publicó TMZ de Johnny Depp en la cocina no estaba completo, ¿verdad? Dejaron fuera las partes que la hacían quedar mal. Y ella contesta, la propiedad de los derechos de autor, eso es nuevo para mí, lo aprendí ayer. Y ella continúa testificando y dice que si hubiese querido filtrar algo, podría haberlo hecho antes y de una manera mucho, pero mucho más efectiva.
Your lies have been exposed to the world multiple times, right?
I haven't lied about anything I've been here to say.
And the manager of the Hicksville trailer park was furious that Johnny had wrecked the whole thing. Do you remember that testimony?
That's correct.
Well, we heard from that manager of the Hicksville trailer park, Morgan Knight, on Monday, didn't we?
I'm not quite sure who that guy was or if he had any involvement in this. I know a lot of people have come out of the woodwork to be involved.
So you're accusing Mr. Knight of testifying and committing perjury?
I'm not accusing anyone. I just don't recognize that man.
You heard Mr. Knight testify that it was actually you who was upset with Mr. Depp spending time away from him. Isn't that correct?
How would he know? He wasn't there.
You heard Mr. Knight testify that it was actually you who was yelling at Mr. Depp.
Again, I've heard a lot of people say a lot of things to be involved in the Johnny Depp show, but he wasn't there. He doesn't know, and he certainly doesn't know what happened behind closed doors, like most people.
So you're calling Mr. Knight a liar?
I am saying he wasn't there, and what he testified to doesn't match what I know happened. But I don't fault him. He wasn't there, so how would he know?
He testified he was there, Ms. Heard. Did you hear that?
That's his testimony, yes.
So you're calling him a liar?
I'm just saying he wasn't there.
Now, the video of Mr. Depp beating up some kitchen cabinets, you admit that you took that video, correct?
Yes, I did.
All right. But you testified that you had absolutely nothing to do with the video's release, right?
Absolutely not.
And you testified that you learned about it when you landed after flying into LA. Do you remember that testimony?
Upon touchdown is when I was alerted to the video's
You
existence
heard Mr.
online.
Tremaine testify that about this video as well yesterday, didn't you?
Yes, I did.
And you heard Mr. Tremaine testify that TMZ received the cabinet video the same day you landed at LAX, yes?
I don't know if that's what his testimony was. I'm
You
sorry.
heard Mr. Tremaine testify that the cabinet video was posted 15 minutes after TMZ received it, yes?
That's what I heard him say.
And that this could only have been possible if the video was received directly from the source, yes?
I heard him say that. I don't know if that's true or if that's possible because it didn't come from me. I was flying.
Tremaine
So
testify.
I know that's incorrect, is what I mean to say.
Another liar on the stand.
Después de esto, Camille saca la foto de her y Rocky Pennington el 28 de mayo del 2016, un día después de que se presentaron al juzgado. Camille destaca que no hay moretones en la cara de Her. Her responde diciendo que obviamente no, porque estaba maquillada como siempre estaba maquillada y por eso nadie podía ver que ella era abusada. Después de esto, la verdad es que empiezan a hablar una sobre la otra y se dan varios altercados y como les digo, Amber Heard, toda desesperada, toda frustrada y súper soberbia, pues contesta algo así como haciéndole ver al jurado que ella es la buena y sufría de violencia. Y Camille le dice lo siguiente: no hay ninguna pregunta pendiente y le agradecería que no presentara argumentos al jurado. Y ella: lo siento, pensé que me habías preguntado al respecto. Y Vázquez: no te pregunté nada. Otra de las cosas que también le hizo saber Camille a Amber Heard es acerca del testimonio de Kate Moss, que esto también se puso ardiente, que arde, porque le dijo que ella no esperaba que Kate Moss fuera a testificar, y como no esperaba eso, bueno, pues dijo mentiras al respecto, y Amber Heard dijo: no, lo que pasa es que mucha gente lo está defendiendo solamente por ser Johnny Depp y por ser un hombre poderoso.
Ms. Heard, at the beginning of your cross-examination last week, I showed you an audio where you told Mr. Depp to tell the jury, tell the judge, tell the world that he is a victim of domestic. Do you remember that?
That's correct.
And you testified you found it hard to believe that Mr. Depp would tell the world that he's a victim of domestic, didn't you?
I said I find it hard to believe that he would do that knowing that he himself had beat me up for 5 years.
But he has told the world that he's your victim of domestic, hasn't he?
Well, he started to say that only recently. He didn't make that claim up until very recently. So when we signed our divorce agreement and we signed a statement saying that neither party had ever said false claims for financial gain, it was relevant and important to me because I was the only one making the accusations. I was the only one making those claims. He wasn't doing that at the time, and he signed his name to it.
You didn't expect as many people to show up and testify on his behalf that did you?
Incorrect.
When you told this jury under oath that you never assaulted, actually, strike that, sorry, Your Honor. When you told this jury under oath that you punched Mr. Depp because you thought of Mr. Depp pushing Kate Moss down the stairs, you didn't expect Ms. Moss to agree to testify that never happened, did you?
Incorrect. I know how many people will come out of the woodwork to be in support of Johnny.
So you think Ms.
Ms.
Moss needs to come out of the woodwork to testify for Mr. Depp?
Everybody who was around in the 90s and the early aughts knew that rumor. I had heard that rumor from multiple people. Of course, that's what flashed through my head when my husband not only swung for me, but all of a sudden swung for my sister. Of course I thought of that. I did not expect her to show up or not expect her to show up. It didn't matter. It doesn't change what I believed at the time when we were on the stairs and I thought he was getting my sister by pushing her down the stairs.
You told this jury under oath that Mr. Depp was aggressive and trashed a trailer in Hicksville. You didn't expect the manager of the Hicksville property, Morgan Knight, to come forward and testify that was untrue, did you?
Incorrect. I've already been through trials with this man. I know how many people will come out in support of him.
When you told this jury under oath that you had no idea that the paparazzi would be at the courthouse on May 27th, 2016, you didn't expect a TMZ employee to show up to testify that TMZ had been alerted that you would be at the courthouse and knew exactly which side of your face to take a picture of, did you?
I know how many people will come out and say whatever for him. That's his power. That's why I wrote the op-ed. I was speaking to that phenomenon. How many people will come out in support of him and will fall to his power? He is a very powerful man, and people love currying favor with powerful men.
Currying
and I know
favor
that
and
firsthand. I've
risking
lived
jail
it.
time for committing perjury?
Excuse me? I didn't hear your question.
You didn't hear
Excuse
my
me?
question?
Ms. Vasquez, if you do mind,
Curry-
please just repeat the question. I didn't hear you.
Curry favor and commit perjury in this courtroom?
I have
For a
seen people
powerful
do this.
man?
I have seen people do this time and time again. That's why I wrote the op-ed.
You didn't expect Ben King, the House manager in Australia, to show up from England. He flew from England to testify that Mr. Depp's fingertip was found exactly where he said it would be. Did you?
I have never heard Johnny testify to knowing where his finger was, or really, frankly, making a claim that he knew where it was when it was found. I've never heard Johnny claim that.
You didn't expect
Johnny
Keenan
doesn't-
Wyatt.
Johnny has never
Ms.
actually
Heard,
said that.
Ms. Heard,
And,
I think the
and
jury can,
yes.
Ms. Heard, there's no question pending. You didn't expect Keenan Wyatt, Mr. Depp's longtime sound technician, to show up and testify that Mr. Depp is not being fed lines through his earpieces, but instead music, did you?
Not that it matters much, but of course I did. I know how his employees treat him.
So you
I know how
probably-
his team treats him. Of course I expected that.
Okay, so you probably expected Isaac Baruch to come and testify for Mr. Depp, right?
I'm not sure I thought about that.
Yeah. But you didn't expect Mr. Baruch to weep for Mr. Depp after what you've put him through and so many others with your lies,
I
did you?
relate.
Después de esto, Camille Vázquez termina su contrainterrogatorio, regresa el abogado de Amber Heard y le pregunta: ¿el señor Depp abusó físicamente de ti? Sí. ¿Verbalmente? Sí. ¿Emocionalmente? Sí. ¿Psicológicamente? Sí. Y al final, Amber Heard termina con la siguiente frase o deposición, por decirlo así, y dice: Johnny me prometió que me arruinaría, me quitaría la carrera, la muerte era la única salida. Y esto es muy curioso y muy incongruente, porque la que le regaló el cuchillo con la leyenda de hasta la muerte, pues fue ella a él, no él a ella, pero bueno, pues ahí se los dejo, ¿verdad? Y bueno, pues esto fue todo por este video. Espero que les haya gustado muchísimo y recuerden que si quieren pertenecer a esta familia de Drama Lovers, por favor suscríbanse a este canal porque hay videos diarios con mucho, pero mucho más drama.